Hey, this is the National Treasure, Nick Aldis, and I am recommending that you go to savewithconrad.com for all your home buying needs. Not only would I recommend Save with Conrad to friends and coworkers, I have many times already. If I know that they're house hunting, my first recommendation to them always is get in touch with Conrad. His team are the real deal, and they will be straight up with you and do everything they can to get you in the house.
NMLS number 65084, equal housing lender. Woo!
It's savewithconrad.com. Right now, Fight Plus, the ultimate digital platform for live sports and entertainment, is offering a free 7-day trial at tryfight.com. Yes, you can access Fight Plus's incredible library full of combat sports, wrestling, and other premium content absolutely free for 7 days by going to tryfight.com. And the best part, you can find them on all major streaming platforms available today. So don't waste another second. Go to tryfight.com. That's tryfite.com right now and find out why they are the undisputed champ of live sports and entertainment.
The recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
Hello and welcome to Arn. This is Paul Bromwell, and as always, I'm joined by the Hall of Famer, the founder of the Four Horsemen, the 1A of tag team wrestling, the man synonymous with the television title. That's right, he's the sidekick of the AEW TNT champion Wardlow. He's the enforcer, he's AA, he's Arn Anderson. Arn, how are you this week, my friend?
I am humbled. I am happy. I am proud to say we have a special guest, one of the original shooters, male or female, Madusa.
Buddy, last week we talked all about April 1992. We covered Sting's injury, the return of Nikita, the build the Wrestle War 1992, but you said it. Today we're taking a time out from our regularly scheduled programming because we do have a special guest, and she's going to share her memories of the Dangerous Alliance, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a trailblazer, a pioneer in the wrestling business, one of the very first females to appear in a WCW ring, and a woman who has worked for over 30 years to help shape and build women's wrestling, and that is the Hall of Famer, Madusa. Madusa, welcome to the Arn Show. How are you?
Wow, this is so amazing. Let me just give me a good clap there, Arn. This is fantastic, everybody.
I'm going to do the Arn clap, too.
This is it. This is what I'm going to be doing, and I'll always remember Arn. First of all, thank you for having me. And I want to say how professional and awesome that this is, because when I received your email, everything was perfectly lined out. Everything was like bullet pointed, and what, you know, these are the points, and this is what we want to talk about, and the videos we're going to show. I'm like, gosh, that's really nice. I think it's amazing, and thank you for that. So I went and did my due diligence because I can't remember everything. I mean, that was a long time ago, right? And Arn, I don't know how you can remember everything. You must have a mind like an elephant. Oh my gosh.
I don't remember everything, but I get prompted by Paul, who has people that go back and research it, and it's some of the stuff is funny, Deuce. I see stuff with quality players in it and a quality match or an angle, and I go, why can't I? That's something I should and could and should remember, and I have no recollection of it. It's because in those days we were doing so much television. Oh. It's just, I mean, think about it. How much television were we doing in those days? And there's just some stuff I look at it and went, if I didn't see this happen, I would have never have dreamed it, because I can't remember any of it.
Right, and it does help. Like, you know, I have fans that send you stuff on the social media, and I'm like, where did they get that? When did that happen? how do they remember that stuff? And I think it's phenomenal. And by the way, Arn, you look great. Either you've been outside fishing, but you're nice and tanned, and you still look really jacked.
Thank you. I don't know about jacked, but there's one thing. You remember my theory. Fat looks better brown. And I will stick to that.
Yeah, it gives you abs. I got it. Yeah, but I saw an old
abs.
clip. No abs.
No.
You have them. They're just hidden a little bit.
They're hidden.
I have one large ab.
Oh, you sound like my husband. But yeah, you look amazing, by the way.
Thank you. So do you.
I cannot wait to get started. So I have a pretty good friend in the business. He's one of my best friends. And I'll just start it off here. His name is Paul Heyman. And him and I speak frequently or whatever. And, you know, we catch up on every day and the kids and, you know, family. And this is, well, I'm just going to jump to this really quick. But this is my book, The Woman Who Would Be King, right? The reason why I'm saying it is because Paul Heyman did the foreword. And so it really meant a lot to me. Like, he was asking me, like, do you know the title of your book yet? And, like, I have 2 picked out. And he's like, well, The Woman Who Would Be King. Just like that. He just threw it out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so fantastic. And that's what I rolled with. I said, forget the other 2. And I rolled with that. And history was made. And so I have to say thanks to him a lot for my career, because he really helped execute Madusa in WCW and gave me that push by putting me in the Dangerous Alliance and with the greats, like working with Arn and Bobby and Larry and, you know, my gosh. And we had some great stuff. And I cannot wait till we get deep and really talk about some stuff. So, and when I was talking to Paul, I'm like, you know, I got to do this great interview with Arn. And he's like, Arn Anderson? I go, yeah, the Dangerous Alliance. He goes, oh, I got some stuff for you.
It's funny you say that, because right before we hit record on this episode, Madusa's like, hold on, guys, hold on. And she's on the phone and she's taking notes. And we're like, who in the world? And I see her lipping to me and she's like, Paul Heyman. I'm on the phone with Paul Heyman. And so he really helped you research for this show, which is cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's busy. He's at Raw right now and stuff. And we, you know, our schedules. So he's like, he kept telling me, you know, hey, do you have a few minutes? No, I don't. I'm busy. Hey, I got a few minutes now. And then when he hit me up and he's like, I can talk to you right now. I go, I can't. And then you hit me up and you're like, we're 10 minutes late. I'm like, okay. And I tell him, yes, we can. And then he says, okay, I'm ready. I says, well, no, I can't. And then he ended up calling. So
good.
I had to take it.
So we're going to hear from Arn Anderson. We're going to hear from Madusa, and we're going to hear from Paul Heyman's thoughts through Madusa tonight.
Well, yeah.
This is fun. This is a good episode. I'm really excited, Madusa, for you to be here. Before we get into it, before we start breaking it down, I got to throw a shout out to our teammate, Marcus D'Angelo, for making this all happen.
He did.
You know,
it was his idea.
He brought us all together, and he does a lot of work behind the scenes, not only for you, Madusa, also for Arn and the show. So shout out to Marcus for everything that he did to make this happen. But, man, listen, today's topic, it's all about you and the role you played in the Dangerous Alliance. So many memorable events that took place during the 12-month run. Madusa, it started from Halloween Havoc 1991 to Halloween Havoc 1992, and you were there from the beginning all the way to the end.
Spin the wheel.
You ready to dig in? You ready to do this?
Yeah, before we start, Arn, I got to show you something. I have a gift for you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
But I don't know if I can hand it to you, but I'm going to keep it until I see you. I should have given it to you at my Hall of Fame speech. However, there was one day we were doing interviews. And I know how you guys like to hurry up, go get tan, drink your ISOPRO drinks, go work out in the gym, and then have gas the whole day and just, you know, stink it up for the rest of us. And I was trying to cut my promo, and it must have taken me 15, 20 times, and I just couldn't get it. Like, I could not. You were getting so frustrated. And in the Arn way, you're like, come on, Madusa, come on. We got to go. We got to do places. How many times? You just need to get whatever. And I took off my shoe, this shoe, and threw it at you, and you went running.
Can I give you a couple of little details that will bring this back to you? Because I'm telling you something. I shit my pants.
You did not.
Now here's the way.
Wait, you shit your spleen. You shit your spleen, not your
quite
pants.
my spleen. Here's a few specifics that will bring it all back to you.
Okay.
I wouldn't tell this story if it wasn't true. So we get in there. Shivani puts us up to the front because we're going to go to the gym that's in the CNN Center. So we knock them out, me and Bobby. We knock them out. Boom, 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 boom. We get them all done. He goes, okay, you guys can go ahead. And we start to leave. And he goes, wait a minute. Oh, we got another one. They wanted to do one with Deuce. Okay, all right, cool. So we come back, and it literally was 14, take 15. And I looked at you and I said, Deuce, have you heard that old adage, kids should be seen and not heard? That applies to women too.
Oh.
And her eyes got so big, and she did. She started moving furniture out of the way. It was like this. She was moving shit, and she's advancing. And she took off, and I went, hey, wait a minute. I was just kidding. Whoa, whoa, whoa. She hummed that shoe, and I just knew she was going to kick me right in the mouth. I look behind her. Bobby is folding a metal chair. I don't
He's
know.
being a prankster.
Were you aware of this?
Not the chair, but
And
that's
I
some
went,
good
Bobby,
tidbit.
whoa. And I mean, her eyes were bugging out of your head. So Tony went, okay, we're good. And we're leaving out there. And I went, what the hell were you going to do with that chair? He said, if she got you down, I was going to hit her with it.
Yeah, oh.
If she got you down, she's going to hit Deuce with a chair?
Bobby, he wouldn't hurt a fly. He would know. He would.
He was convinced you were fixing to kick my ass, and he was going to have to make the save with a chair. That's how we regarded you, young lady.
Oh my God!
We're going to see clips of her kicking some ass this week. All right, so you can definitely. I see why they would be scared.
She might not have even known. Were you even aware that happened behind your back?
No, I wasn't, and I don't think Bobby. No, he.
Bobby is the perfect gentleman. He really feared for my life, which tells you all you need to know about you, young'un.
Oh please! I have so much respect. I had no business doing interviews like that. I was still so green, but I will tell you, back in the day with Vern, when I worked with Vern and AWA, Vern gave me the platform to make all the mistakes and just keep doing it, and just failing to become, the woman I am today. And Vern was really good. And so he kind of, he's the one that started that platform for me to make those mistakes.
And he was right to do that because that's how we all learn.
How do you learn?
Making mistakes.
Yes.
You make mistakes. You don't learn by getting it right all the time.
Failure is not a destination; it's a blueprint.
Madusa, I want to.
Well
Yeah,
said.
man, she's
Write that down. Make a note of that.
Yeah,
That's a T-shirt.
I was
That's a
gonna say,
T-shirt.
She's already learning. She knows the game.
Definitely a T-shirt.
I love it. So listen, let's talk about your time or we're going to be here till midnight tonight. I can already see how we're moving here. But let's talk about when you started Halloween Havoc 1991. You transitioned from wrestler Madusa, right, to Halloween Havoc 1991. You joined Paul Lee in revealing the Halloween Phantom and Rick Rude. What can you tell us about that whole decision to move you from active female wrestler to this non-wrestling role where you're featured now with Paul Lee and Rick Rude? Do you remember that time period?
Well, actually, the whole thing with me joining the alliance was actually a Crockett and Dusty decision.
Okay.
And for that to happen, it was being said that they needed a Paul Heyman situation. So the whole idea to step out of the wrestling to go into the Dangerous Alliance 007, as Paul would put it, I was basically the 007 villain. And that's how I became covert of operations.
Ah.
And so he wanted, if I was going to be involved, to be that person involved in the Dangerous Lions.
So this is Paul's idea to involve you in this role with creative at this time.
Because we had the Leilani Kais, the Bambis, the Judy Martins.
Sure.
And the positioning was changing to women of voluptuousness and
Say all the words. We're good here. It's good.
things were changing to tits and ass.
Right,
And the women of my era were not about that, and
That's
I
right.
wasn't about that. I didn't like it. I was a wrestler, damn it, and that's what I wanted to portray. But because of the shift, and with Missy Hyatt, she was, I mean, Missy is gorgeous. I keep telling her she was
Voluptuous.
gorgeous in her
Yeah.
day. Yes. And that's how they were trying to transition women. And I didn't want anything to do with it. And for me to be in these cat fights and stuff, it was a position for me to get away from that and to be the director of covert operations. So,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that until just a few minutes ago that it was a Dusty and a Crockett decision.
Okay.
Arn, did you know that? Did you know?
I didn't get any of the behind the scenes stuff. We
Yeah.
just got there, and whatever they said, you got however many minutes, here's what the finish is. That's all I cared about.
That's basically what kind of
politics.
happened. Yeah.
The politics, because it was so over my head. I knew I'd just get swallowed up in it, so I just stayed out of it. Whatever y'all want, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were business. You did that. You were business. You know what I liked about the whole operation is that every single one of us were different. We had different things brought to the table. And I think that's what's so cool. Where I see with factions nowadays, they're almost blend. They're like all the same. We were actually all individuals that would come and do individual matches, or they would do individual promos. And it was awesome because we were still individual, but yet the DA. We were powerful.
Hey guys, we interrupt this episode of Arn, the loudmouth manager, or however you want to call it. But then you had the quiet types, the quiet assassins, the Bob Eatons who didn't have to say many words, but he's going to get it done in the ring, and the Arn Andersons and Steve Austin, the technician of the group, who you're going to get some promo, but it's not heavy, and everybody brought something different, to your point, Madusa, to the ring. I want to jump to Savannah, Georgia, Clash of the Champions 17. You probably remember this event, but it's all centered around world champion Lex Luger. He injures Sting before his United States title defense against Rick Rude. You're paired with Rick Rude here. You're alongside Paul Lee. But here you are involved in this whole kind of main event deal with all these main players. Sting's injured in the ring, only to return that night to lose the United States title in just under 5 minutes when Rick Rude would gain the pinfall here with the handful of tights. And there's a lot of nuances here, Madusa, and complexities to this show. The whole angle is executed very well. But very early on in your run here, you're rubbing elbows with Sting, the franchise, who, by the way, is still doing his thing. You're doing your thing with heels like Rude and Luger. What did you think about being immediately inserted into this main event role immediately here?
Well, it was a challenge because I was learning on the fly, and I knew to keep watch, keep my mouth shut, learn from the best. The best thing about my position was being by ringside and learning from all of the greats. And I, like Arn was saying, they barked their orders. You did what they asked, and I did it. I did it well. There was a lot of ad-libbing on my part where there wasn't any scripts. And so I just took a lot of matters in my own hand, what I thought would fit at that time. So a lot of what you seen was the psychology of what I thought was the timing, the timing was right.
Sure. And you're paired a lot here with Rick Rude. Can you talk to us about Rick and just working with him and overall thoughts with him and you kind of enhancing his star power? We want to hear your thoughts about Rick Rude in general.
Well, I think there was the big angle with Rick and Sting, and I think you knocked Sting with the belt at one time.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, it escalated everything. And working with Rick was kind of like the idea of where it was Paul's idea to have kind of like do it before it actually happened, kind of like a Sherry and Shawn Michaels, but I was with Rick Rude and doing that and actually executing it on a whole different large scale. You know what I mean? And so we were creating something I believe that no one has seen. You know what I mean? When I say it's parallel to Shawn Michaels and Sherry, but this was on a whole different street. I just didn't take crap from nobody. They positioned me so if a guy were to do something to me, I could take a bump and I could give a receipt. I wasn't just a voluptuous girl. I wasn't too hard on the eyes, but I wasn't your model type. But I was a woman that could, bring it when she needed to. So that's exactly
Don't
my
sell
whole
yourself
position.
short. You had the total package.
I was all right. I was different. That's all. And I'm not self-deprecating. I'm not. And I'm not. And it's just I wasn't that, but I could deliver with other things. And I think that's what really enhanced with Rude. I was that woman behind. Sometimes I was his girl and I was quiet but I was a kick-ass.
But you could be a badass too. And that's
Yes.
what I mean when I say total package. Not only could you play the valet role if needed, but you could also be that badass when needed.
I couldn't
too.
wait to be the badass,
Yeah.
Arn?
No. She laid into that one, didn't she?
But, she wasn't a valet. She was never a valet.
Yeah.
And just a simple spot that everybody out there can listen to. I'm getting my ass kicked. I grab some tights and I jerk a guy over the second rope beside me. Boom. And he's just stuck there. And I walk the ref back. I never one time told Dusa what to do. I just looked at her and she knew what I wanted. Now, whether it was a kick in the face, a punch in the snout, whatever it was her call. But I knew it came across like a man stopping him. It wasn't like a valet stopping him. And that's what gave it the whole different twist. She kicked a guy right in the chin and it looked like she broke his jaw. That was the difference for her time. None of us knew the extent of her mixed martial arts experience, amateur, whatever sports it was. You just knew she was an athlete and she brought a different flavor when she went on the attack, and it was sudden. It was precise. Got to remember, in that time, it was if you did that same spot, the valet would have just got 2 handfuls of hair and shook you or something uneventful. But it's what girly girls do.
That's the difference, like you were saying, Arn, like a valet to the manager to the actual kick-ass wrestler. But no, not playing down on the women valet positions, because that's what was hot back then, basically. That was it. But I think it was the turning of the times. I was again trying to change the trajectory of, hey, if I'm going to be this valet manager, then I'm going to bring something else to it.
So, Madusa, I'm going to have you kind of touch on a little bit of each of the folks that are in the Dangerous Alliance. So, Rick Rude, we talked about him. Anything else that you have? Any fun stories you want to share about working with Rick Rude before we move on to
It's in my book, but I will share something with you.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, Paul had an eye. Of course he does. And he's a great verbal assassin, we'll call him, because he's good at what he does. However, he had a good eye for people and talent, and he really saw a lot into Steve Austin, and he wanted Steve to be a part of the team. That was his decision. And so he wanted him to ride with Rick, but Rick allowed only 3 people, and he would make Paul drive, and I had to have to sit up in the front seat, and Rick got the whole back seat. And back then they drove those big ass, what are the Continental Arns? You guys, all you did was rent those Continental thingies.
Cadillacs.
And so And Rude loved his pot back then. So, I mean, and I didn't do nothing. I didn't even take aspirin back then. And so there we were. We'd get in the car and we'd get down the road and I would take off my shoes and I'd put my feet up on the dashboard and we'd ride down. And the first thing out of Rick's mouth was lighting up that joint, smoking that, getting that freaking car like it was Cheech and Chong. It was like disgusting. I couldn't open the window because he would have Paul, they would lock it and I would get like this freaking contact high. I was so pissed. And I was like, get me out. And he was back there laughing and Paul's enjoying it. And then he would sit there and poke fun out of my feet because my feet, I got big feet. I got big feet. And so my feet, I'm 5'10", so I have size 10. So whatever, they're proportioned. Anyway, back then he thought, my God, Deuce, look at them toes. You could play the piano for me all night with them damn toes while he's stoned. I'm like, really? So that's, I mean, and then of course there's a lot of other stuff. But yeah.
I like it. That's fun. That's a fun story. All right. So Rick Rude, Madusa's 5'10", wears size 10 shoes, but that's okay. They were proportionate. So we learned that.
Yes.
So, all right, you mentioned him, Steve Austin. Arn has said it on many occasions. He could tell the guy had a motor like none other. What can you tell us about working with Steve back in those days? Any fun or interesting stories about Austin?
Yeah, Steve was. I had the biggest crush on Steve, but I knew that I never had a chance because he always had a big boob blonde with him, and I'm like, whatever, dude. You're always married, and then got another big boob blonde, and then another one. I'm like, fuck, I'll just
big boob blonde, the 3 Bs.
Yeah, big boob blonde, yes. And that's a T-shirt. So you can take the B like they're 2 boobs,
right?
Big boob blonde. That's another T-shirt. I got it.
There we go.
Okay, and so. It was really great to work with him, and I know he was frustrated. He was so frustrated, and just I think it was Hurd or frickin' the other dude that was a dick. Who was the other guy? Not Hurd, but the other guy, Watts.
Bill Watts, cowboy.
I'm sorry. Whatever. Yeah. Okay. So I remember we had this angle, and he was with Lady Blossom at the time, and we had to do this angle where she shoves this thing down her top and he's actually wrestling Ricky Steamboat. And I had to come out there to save the day, which was weird. And I went down there and stuck my hand all the way down between those 2 inflatables and just pulled out this thing that was there. And then Steve came and was going to attack me. And he was so gentle and so kind, and I was like, God, do I turn around and kiss him, or
you were hooked even more, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm like, no, I just got to keep this business. Yep,
that's good. All right,
yeah.
So you did the dirty work. You grabbed the tool between the inflatables, and then
I grabbed the tool against the 2 tools. Yes,
that's right, and fell in further love with Steve. Arn, let's face it, such a stressful and taxing couple of days played hell on the body. There's no way that your body was performing at peak performance back in your heyday. Today, with our crazy schedules, you and I both benefit from AG1 by Athletic Greens. Arn, just 1 scoop and it gives you 75 high-quality vitamins and minerals. I'm talking improving your gut health, sleeping better, improved focus. What's not to like? This is a slam dunk, and better yet, you're going to sleep better and recover better. It costs less than $3 a day. It's completely worth the investment in you, and it's received 7,000 plus 5-star reviews. Right now is the time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. It's so simple. No need for a million different pills and supplements. It's very easy. Athletic Greens is also going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Arn. That's it. Again, athleticgreens.com/Arn to take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
Hey guys, Eric Bischoff here, and just want to call a quick timeout. I want to tell your listeners about what I've been telling everybody at Over at 83 Weeks for quite a while now, about all the cool things that are happening over at adfreeshows.com.
An all-new edition of The Insiders is here, as Conrad welcomes David Zahadi, the man behind so many iconic video packages WWF fans grew up on, including one that left Vince in tears.
You got it. And Conrad, I swear, I walked outside the studio, and Vince was sitting down on the concrete floor, crying hysterically, just saying thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. I went up to the full cabin. He says, good job. Can't wait to see it. 15 minutes later in the stairwell, Vince is still sitting down in a different spot now, crying, saying thank you. Thank you.
Jim Johnston created the soundtrack for generations of WWE fans, with some of the most iconic themes in history. Jim sits down with Conrad to take us behind some of those classic themes, including The Ultimate Warrior.
And then I recorded that. And then just over that, you're just doing. You know, it's so simple, but that's what felt like him.
That's just a small taste of what we've got waiting for you with 4 levels to choose from. See for yourself why ad-free shows is the best value in wrestling today. Sign up now at adfreeshows.com.
Let's continue. We're going to talk about Larry Zbyszko. And I don't know if you know this or not, but Arn does the best Larry Zbyszko impersonation. You and Larry were both in AWA during the late 1980s, too. So talk about Larry a little bit. Did you meet him in AWA? Was it later on? I want to hear about Larry.
Yeah, I met Larry in AWA, and he always had these free-flowing shirts on, like they were Hawaiian or something. I can't remember, like they're Hawaiian freaking shirts. And I don't know, I think he always loved golf or whatever. He was always tan, and he's always walking around like this, and Madusa, or whatever the hell. And he was always smiling or, or making a remark and then and walk off. He never stuck around to finish the conversation. And I was always scared to talk to him because I thought, oh my God, he's office because he's boning the Vern's daughter, or he was married to her.
Yes,
I was like,
yes.
I can't talk to him. He's married to the... And so I never felt like I could approach him because of that reason. And it was very yes sir, no sir, even though we were, working together.
Huh. All right.
Yeah, interesting.
Let's keep it going. I didn't know if Arn would chime in, maybe do an impersonation. We may still get one.
Deuce, my God, know I sold out with Bruno, Shea Stadium. My God, they're chanting, Larry sucks. Larry, they mean it.
Yeah. Oh my God, did you see his speech at the Hall of Fame? Poor
Horrible.
guy. Oh, don't say that. He got lost.
There's a story there.
Yes.
I spent a month telling Brock, my youngest, who's now in the business, Larry is going in the Hall of Fame and he is going to steal the show. He's going to put himself over for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, but he got stuck in the bush behind Bruno's house at 16 and he never got any further in his speech. Remember, they wrapped him up. He never even got to talk about his career. And Brock, we're going back to the hotel, and Brock looked at me and went, Dad, that was the shits.
Oh, I felt
he was
bad.
Pissed.
Was he stoned?
He had to be.
This is great.
He had to be. But if you go back and look at it, he got stuck telling the story where he was going in the bush and he got stuck and he never got any further.
Oh my God.
He never talked about his career.
I know it was like an hour and I just saw everybody and I'm like, oh no, what do we do? I go, is there like a cane? Like you drag somebody off the stage, or is there a bell, or do we start music?
Well, they usually would send the cane, the character, out to give them the Iggy to get out of there. They did that with, what's the guy's kid that was Mr. T's son? Remember? He went into a whole diatribe and then sent Kane out and said, hey, get off the stage.
Yes. Oh my gosh. But what do you do? I think at that point after that, because there were long speeches. I mean, God, mine was like 30 minutes or,
Now they only induct like 4 people just so that they can avoid all these long ass speeches and 5-hour nights, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was 5-6 hours. Some of those.
Oh my God!
Hillbilly
I mean, well,
Jim.
how do
I
you?
remember that one? Yeah.
Well, the worst part is, I had to go afterwards when it was over and meet Cena at the stadium to go over his match.
Oh shoot!
2:00 in the morning, and we had to be back down there at 10.
Ugh.
Oh my gosh!
Behind the curtain shit nobody saw, but it was
right.
Now
right,
that 5 hours of Hall of Fame stuff takes a different meaning.
Yeah, sure. That I cannot believe that though. It was poor Lair. He's such a good soul though.
We're going to have Larry on the show one day. He's going to be one of our next guests. We have to.
You have to.
It would be so much fun with him and Arn. Are you kidding?
You should do it on a golf course.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, he loves golfing.
I know.
That might be the only place we catch up with him. So
yeah, right.
All right, let's talk Bobby Eaton because listen, there's one of Arn's best friends, one of the most naturally gifted professional wrestlers ever to lace up boots, one of the best tag team wrestlers ever, and you, Madusa, were sitting outside the ring for a lot of him and Arn's matches against the Steiners, and you would often get involved to help them retain the belts. One of the matches, Super Brawl 2. What can you share with our audience about the time you spent with Arn and Bobby when they were the tag champions, and any memories of them and the Steiners, or what do you have for us there?
Well, with those two, I knew it wasn't going to be a street ball. It's very articulate and methodical. Let's just put it that way. And I knew that with those two in hand that the job would get done. And so it was a little less, only because the boys could do their job, but there was things that needed to be done. So as Arn said previously, it only took a look. And that's all it takes for a woman to know when she's needed to get involved. So that was really cool. Bobby, I will tell you, is got to be, just was the most sweetest man. And I don't think he could ever hurt anybody. He would always come up to me, and he'd always be chewing gum or something. And he would come up to me and take my arm and act like he's going to twist it and go, just a little giggle. And, he was so good to me. And he actually would tell me and talk to me a lot and sit with me about the ring and positioning. And the psychology. Bobby was so good in the ring. His bumping, oh Lord have mercy, was impeccable. And I was a bumping queen myself. Like, I sold for everybody in the ring. I sold and sold, and I learned a lot from Bobby with that too. I mean, if you are a good seller, it definitely selling, getting your opponent over.
Do you remember, and we saved the best for last year because it is the Arn Anderson show. Do you remember when you first met Arn, and any fun memories that you want to share of Arn? I mean, you already shared the shoe, the shoe, the size 10, now that we know it was a size 10 that you threw at him. Talk to us about when you first met Arn, what you thought about him, and any other fun stories.
Arn was, to me, sorry, buddy, but you were so serious. You were just
intense.
Very. And you just didn't know how to take Arn. And he was, to me, the way he looked, back then he was in his prime. I mean, he still looks great. But I mean, he was like somebody you just didn't know what to expect for me. And I knew that he was, I felt like he was so serious, and I don't know if it was just because of his look, and he didn't smile a lot. Like, maybe towards me he didn't. I don't know.
Okay, so I shouldn't take that personally then, when he doesn't smile at all at me?
No, that's just Arn.
I'm kidding. I'm
kidding.
kidding.
And Arn's mind for the business, I'm telling you, he was in the perfect position with all of those guys in the DA, because everyone was so iconically individual that they brought something so much that when they did go out and wrestle and there was someone from the DA with them, it actually meant something. And Arn's style was I feel, it was articulate, and he actually hit the ropes.
There you go.
I mean, have you seen him hit the ropes?
Oh yeah. We've watched so many clips of Arn in his career. We've seen him hit the ropes. We've seen him try to jump off the top of the rope. We've seen so.
Wait, wait a minute. Let's go back. Arn jumping off the top ropes. Wait a minute.
No.
Wait. No.
Second rope.
Yeah, I didn't think so. No, Arn would not be that guy. No, Arn, you would never jump off the top ropes onto the concrete. No.
And I had an explanation because 50% of the time, something bad was going to happen. I don't like those odds, so I just stayed on the mat. You can't win a match in the air anyway.
I know.
So
I did a spot.
Stay on match.
I did a spot. I was wrestling Paul Heyman. And I did a spot off the corner turnbuckle onto freaking what's his name, blonde.
Freaking blonde.
Hayes, Michael Hayes.
Michael P.S. Hayes.
That SOB, let me tell you. So in the back, it was a position where I was supposed to jump off and he was going to catch me. Well, he didn't catch me and I broke my foot in half. And yes. And that's why I'm like, I would have trusted Arn more over than frickin' Hayes. And I said to Hayes, I said, what the hell? He goes, I don't catch anybody. Oh, okay.
Well, gee
should have
whiz.
told me that earlier, like about 2:00.
Yeah, last time I saw him when I was at Raw 30, I'm like, hey, how you doing? You still catching people?
Wow.
Now he's like, yeah.
Still not catching people, yeah.
Very good.
Still not catching.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I just, and I laugh. It's just funny now. It's nothing, whatever. But
personal, yeah.
Nothing personal. So Arn going off the top rope? I don't think so. There's a lot of guys that didn't back then. No.
You are correct. One of the old rules, you know this, Deuce. If you can't do something, don't do it.
Why do it? No.
Well, listen, we have 3 fun clips that we're going to play for you and Arn, and they all
really?
obviously, and they involve you. I have a couple questions, get to some fan questions, and get you out of here. This has been so much fun. But now that we've covered the players, we have a few events that we're going to have you take a look at. First one, February 1st, 1992. You and Paulie Dangerously gave out the Paulie Awards. Do you remember this? Here we go. It's to the members of the Dangerous Alliance. Our fans have come to expect it. We got the clip here, and let's see what happened during this award ceremony. Let's check it out together.
Joining me in the ring for a special presentation, along with the First Lady of WCW, Madusa, is the Chief Executive Officer of the Dangerous Alliance, Mr. Paul E. Dangerously.
They have the Oscars, they have the Tonys, they have the Emmys. I saw that joke in a WCW magazine for their year-end awards. Ladies and gentlemen, the most prestigious awards in the history of mankind are called the Paulies. Now, I'd like to bring to your attention that these awards are made in my very image. Nice slender body, full head of hair. The very first winner of the Paulie Awards, presented quarterly right here in World Championship Wrestling, is for Wrestler of the Year on television. The TV Wrestler of the Year is the World Television Champion, Stunning Steve Austin!
Well, and there he comes to receive his award on TV. As,
oh, my.
Well, as I expected,
There's Medusa's
Stunning
crush.
Steve Austin, the World Television Champion, a member, by the way, coincidentally, of the Dangerous Alliance. Back we go.
Oh, dear.
As you can see right here and read the fine print,
okay.
The Hannibal Lecter Memorial Paulie for the sickest individual in World Championship Wrestling. Please welcome the Cruncher, Larry Zbyszko.
Zbyszko, the Cruncher, and yes,
see how he walks.
Gets the award for the
like a penguin
individual, and well, I might agree with
just
that.
Like one
believe
too.
it or not.
That's so cute.
Something that's very near and dear to my heart.
Oh my God.
The tag team of the quarter Paulie Award very, very close in the running. Dustin Rhodes and Ricky Steamboat came close. The Steiner brothers almost won it, but oh no! The winner of the Paulie Award for Tag Team of the Year, Beautiful Bobby and Double A, Arn Anderson!
If you're like me, you're sitting at home wondering the purpose of all of this.
Your hair is still the same, Arn.
Yeah, non-existent.
There's no question. There's only one more award, and there's only one more.
The Dangerous Alliance and I have looked all over the world, not just here in World Championship
Look at our
Wrestling,
feet. Everybody's got on wrestling
that
boots.
Somebody wrestled professionally for the very first annual Waterley Paulie Award for outstanding achievement in professional wrestling. The wrestler of the quarter, ladies and gentlemen, the United States Heavyweight Champion, Ravishing Rick Rude!
What an underrated faction. What do you think, Arn?
I don't think anybody on earth, including us, knew what we had. I didn't look around that room and went, Jesus.
Look at them lips.
What are these guys
everybody
on?
says that, Madusa. All the fans, the listeners of this show, everybody comments that. I saw it on your Instagram post when you put the magazine, the wrestling magazine with you guys. What an underrated faction of all time.
Look at the careers those guys had. I mean, it's
The seat now open
crazy
on the board of directors of World Championship Wrestling.
And him.
Who better but the chief executive officer
Still relevant.
of a class operation like
Yes.
this to be on the board of directors of WCW. I hereby nominate myself, Paulie Dangerously, to sit on the board of directors of WCW and make very important decisions. I hereby give to you the winners of the very first quarterly Paulie Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paulie Dangerously with the Dangerous Alliance Paulie Award.
Golly.
So there you go. Way ever before the WWE, WWF awards shows that they do, right? Paulie was already doing his own award show. How much fun was that just to go back and see? Do you remember that at all even?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't remember being out there. Do you, Arn?
Nope.
Nope. You're so on. Nope.
I really don't. And you know what's crazy? We had our wrestling boots on, all of us, and
So
I guarantee you, it was because somewhere after that we were going to get our ass beat up.
Yes.
And that's why we had our boots on.
Didn't
There's
someone
no
come
other
in?
reason.
Didn't they storm the ring? Steiners or something?
Probably. We don't have the clip of it, but most likely it sounded like it would have been a
It
great
had to
angle
be.
happen.
There couldn't be anything
Yeah.
else. And guys didn't want to break an ankle out there fighting on the cement, so you put your boots on.
All right, here we go.
And that outfit?
Yeah.
That outfit.
The outfit, the red cummerbunds, it was so good.
But we all matched.
Yeah.
Even I had it on.
Yeah. And the
Can I-
hair, Medusa, what did you
Oh
think
my
of
God,
your
is
hair?
that 80s or what? You know how much Aquanet that shit took?
But it looked good. That's what you were supposed it looked good. back then. Come on.
I was ahead of my time even wearing suits.
Yes.
That's true.
And so I had that outfit made, and it was made in Japan. And it was who really influenced me. What does that outfit look like when you go back and look at it? Who does it resemble? That is, I'm from Minnesota. Who's from Minnesota? That is totally Prince.
Oh, okay. Prince-inspired
Wow.
outfit there for the Paulie Awards.
Yes.
See, you're only getting it here on the Arn Show.
Yes.
Details like that.
Yes, this
that's
reminds me.
inside scoop there.
Inside
It is.
Scoop. Clip it, Marcus. It's going on social. All right. Here we go. The next moment. This is another big one, Medusa. I saw it in your comments on Instagram. This is the War Games, Russia War 92. Arn and I are about to cover an upcoming episode. But at one point in this match, you climb the cage in the evening gown, drop Paulie's phone down through the cage to double A. And so we're gonna watch it. Let's check it out. Our second most famous clip here. Let's check it out.
Thank you very much. Earlier on in Halloween Havoc,
Oh, yeah.
Ravishing Rick Rude, I get to retain the U.S. title. Thanks to Big Van Vader, Paulie Dangerously Harley Racer.
And let's give credit where credit is due. It was all my idea to start with, and it was an honor to give half of the winner's purse to Harley Race. It was an honor to give half of the winner's purse to Big Van Vader, because I am the man that engineered it all. I am the reason for Rick Rude's success. It's all me, Paul E.
Well, Madusa's here.
I want to thank Mr. Harley Race and Mr. Van Vader, Ravishing Rick Rude, and the First Lady of WCW for winning the heavyweight title.
I've had it with you. I've had it with you. I have had it with you since day one. I've had it with you. First of all, let's get one thing straight. I am the brains. I am the muscle. I am the Dangerous Alliance. You know why? Because I am a man. M-A-N. Dominant. Superior. Number one. The brains. The boss. The man of control. You're just a woman. Nothing but a woman. Inferior. Subservient. Nothing more than a chick that takes orders. You, Madusa, have been good for 1 year for one thing. And that one thing has been to take care of each and every one of Ravishing Rick Rude's needs. But between you and me, man to man, the reason that I hired you for that job is because the other hooker that I had in mind had a previous obligation.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Let me spell it out for you. Woman, female, so that even a woman can understand. I am a man. You are a woman, which means, damn it, you are fired. And because you're a woman, and I know that means that you're stupid, I'll spell it out for you. F-I-R-E-D, fired.
Oh, shit.
She kicked him right in the face. Tony Schiavone, you better get out of there.
See what I'm talking about?
Oh, hell yeah.
It actually took all of them. They were peeling him off. I was like, I ain't going nowhere. Not Grizzly. Oh, Lord.
I love it. What action here in WCW. I love it.
I love how Vader and them got the hell out.
Dangerously is beside himself. They're having to restrain both of them. What is this, Connors and Naratilova?
With one hand tied behind my back. And my word is my contract. Let's go. Come on, bitch. Come on.
What an explosion here. Oh, my.
I hate you.
That was my strongest word.
I know. Okay, so obviously I was wrong on the clip, but holy shit, that was fire. Okay.
Yeah, that was a different clip.
Was, and Arn and I are going to actually cover Russell War 1992 next week, so I'm sure we'll have that. But we went straight to Halloween Havoc, where Heyman and you have this all-out verbal breakup that turns into what Arn has told us before about you. You'll kick someone's head off. And you just did that with Paul Lee. How fun was that, man? He said some shit he can't get away with even now.
Well, I mean, it'd be great to.
I agree.
It'd be great to do stuff like that, because it would be even a bigger rise.
Even hotter,
you would have to. You would definitely have to work with somebody that you are working with that would be like, yeah, that's cool, that's all right, and just have that vibe, right?
Yep.
Number two, doing that, I remember talking to Paul, and all he said is, I am going to cut a promo on you, and I need you to react. I'm like, okay. He goes, no, I am going to cut a promo. I'm like, okay, I got you. Don't worry. And he's like, okay. He goes, do whatever you want. I'm like, okay. And so the reaction was, when someone calls you a whore or whatever, or
He called you a bitch
woman,
at one point, too.
bitch at the end,
Yeah.
and all of this stuff, you're going to react. 'Cause so the only thing I could think of is, what would you do naturally? So, is come after him.
You throw the round kick and just start wailing on him.
Yeah, and I'll never ever live it down. He's like, Deuce, I will never forget the boot in my face. He was like bruised, like it was coming at him. So it slipped. There was a lot of people. I couldn't see where I was kicking, but I wanted to make sure I was kicking him. There's a great little backstory there that I just learned from Paul, and I got to share this with you on this one. It was not Heard, but the other guy, Bill Watts. I try to forget his name on purpose. So anyway, it was Bill that said, this is just great. And I'm going to say these words, and you can bleep it out later or do whatever. But he said, this is just great. Now I got a fucking Jew and a cunt that stole the show. And that was the end of him and the whole situation. And it escalated from there.
It escalated from there, and Bill Watts was gone. There you go. Well, that's
he said that in the meeting.
Did you say you remembered it, or Paul reminded you
Paul.
of it?
But when he reiterated it to me, and I'm like, I remember having that conversation with Paul years later, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, I didn't even put that in my book, and I'm so damn pissed. I'll have to come out with book number
That's okay. We're glad to have it here on the Arn Show.
Okay, that's just
Marcus
great.
Snippet.
Well, that's never been okay.
No,
not that either.
That never been okay.
No.
That's horrible. And even back then, I mean, I know he was livid. Paul was livid, and there's a lot that happened from that. And
hey, listen, Bill Watts is also one of those guys that he said a lot of stuff that just wrong, just downright wrong, and that sounds like just another one.
Then what happened was, I think it was Arn. I think you can remember correctly. I got 600 pages here from him. And I think it was Jim Crockett and Dusty of the idea that I told you about. It was Jim Crockett.
Yeah, anything else that Paul wanted to make sure you...
They wanted to split us up. Bill Watts did. And that
I
was
was going to ask about that. It was his decision?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He wanted to split us up, and I think that's when that happened, and then he knew, and then it was holy hell. It was... Yeah, that's when he called us. It was Center Stage. And I think it was... Okay, I took my shoes off to fight him. I guess I was there. And I took my shoes off again, there, Arn. And I guess Arn or Bobby or somebody was there. And I took my shoes off and I went to go after him. And it was Arn or Bobby. And they're like, Deuce, don't, because it's just this is what he wants, that type of thing. And I was ready to kill him.
Wow.
I guess. Yeah. You don't say Jew. You don't say that. I'm, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
That's just wrong on so many levels.
Well, yeah. I mean, we can go into it, but
well, at least
anyway.
they did the right thing as far as firing his ass. You know what I mean? That unbelievable.
Yes.
This is a great segue to say, make sure you take order Madusa's book. It sounds like.
There's other good ones in there. Yes. So Arn, you're safe.
We're going to have you back.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much, dude. I know you've already had a long night, and I would love, like you said, midnight.
We're just doing Dangerous Alliance stuff right now. And so this is a very small section in time. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of opportunity for that. Hey, listen, guys, one thing we know for sure, though, after watching that clip, is that Paulie Dangerously had no idea how to speak to women, because our listeners are fans of the Enforcer. They all know how to cut that closing time promo. But sometimes the promo doesn't match up to the in-bed action. And if you can talk the talk but can't deliver the performance of your glory days, might Arn and I suggest the only gimmick you need to make sure you come out on top, hand raised, title defended, and without your partner wanting to kick your head off. And that, my friends, is Blue Chew. Blue Chew is changing the lives. Look at Madusa's face for
That's
men
what I do every week, dude.
across the world.
That reaction.
Isn't that right, Arn? Blue Chew, baby.
I'm staying out of it.
Well, my husband don't need Blue Chew, so we're good.
But there's a lot of guys that do. And listen, it's part of our show. We got to talk about it. It's an online prescription service. No weird visits to the doctor. No awkward conversations like we're having here. That's right. No waiting in line at the pharmacy. It ships right to your door in a discreet package. And it's simple. You just go to bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers. And once you're approved, I'm actually red as in the face as I'm going over this. This is so fun.
You should be.
You should be. I was just gonna thank you, Arn. Do they have a blue Slurpee for a girl? Or?
We think that if we want to do a test, okay, I'll take it.
Just move on. What we talked about is not for her ears.
Oh, look at he's still Mr. Daddy Protective.
Oh, no, that's true.
Listen, I wouldn't mind finding out if a woman took a Blue Chew, what would happen to her, Madusa?
I don't know. I never had to yet. I don't need it. I'd probably beat somebody's ass. But let me.
There you go. She'd get ultra aggressive.
Let me just wear this here.
She done broke out the title.
Listen, BlueChew.com. Okay. Check it out, and you can try it for free when you use our promo code ARN at checkout. That's right. Just pay $5 shipping. Look at Madusa's face. That's BlueChew.com, promo code ARN, and you get your first month free. So go to BlueChew.com for more details and safety info. My favorite thing about the whole spot, Madusa, is screaming that name, ARN. So there you go.
Oh, yeah. Get it? Blue Chew, ARN.
You get it.
Okay. Yes. Show me that video.
Here we go. Following the angle at the Halloween Havoc, you and Paulie were booked in the Battle of the Sexes match. It took place at Clash of the Champions 21, and I can't think of a better way to conclude our coverage than to watch this clip with you. Madusa, here we go. Then we'll wrap it up with some fan questions. Let's check it out.
Okay.
To the Sexes, Madusa has put in many hours of training. She brings with her an intense martial arts background and a passion to finally settle the score.
Paulie, I've had enough of you for the last year. You've demeaned me, now I'm gonna embarrass you. When I get through with you, everyone's gonna call you Paulina, and I promise
you. Meanwhile, Paul E. has gone through a training regimen of his own, as he and other members of his dangerous alliance held a public workout this past weekend on WCW Saturday night.
Oh, do it! Thank you very much. Look what you did! Look what you did! Yes!
Oh,
yes!
my buddy Hayes.
Baby. The big one! The big one! The big one! Boom! Yes! Hit him!
The enforcer.
Finally found something I could do. Count.
Immediately after the workout, Paul Lee confronted Madusa, and after berating her again, he found himself in the same position that he will be in tonight, alone.
It's not your fault. It's okay, I got her. It's not your fault. It's a little strong. It's not your fault that you're so stupid that you think you can take on a real man like Paulie dangerously. It's not your fault that you're so ignorant you think you can beat up a man. It's not your fault you're that stupid. It's genetic. You were born stupid. You're just a woman. But I am a man. My father's pride and joy. That is disappointment. Because we all know that your father wanted a boy, wanted a man for a son. And he almost got one, didn't he? But not quite. Now I know what you're thinking, Madusa. You're looking at my face. And you're trying to decide, should I kick him or should I kiss him? Because you know that you've always wanted a real man like Paulie dangerously. How many nights did you call me from Rick Rude's room saying, Paulie, I want to be with a real man like you, but you will never have me. You will never have me.
He is something else, man. So good.
Because I wouldn't lower myself to be with something like you, a woman, nothing but a woman, because I hate your filthy, stupid, gut. You hear me? What are you gonna do? Nothing. But if you take one step towards me, we'll stop your butt. You got me. We will not tolerate this. Is that right?
That's right. Who, Bobby? Who not you? Low life son of a goose.
There's Ben lifting. Here goes Madusa. Chasing Paulie. Paulie's over.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They go up through the crowd. They're going out on Peachtree. They're going out on Peachtree.
Where were you, Arn?
Up in the upper deck, laughing my ass off.
Like Mike Thor, the man.
Pretty good in heels and a dress, too.
About the injury incentive on Eric Watts, because we'll get you and your stinking father, too. And I am the man because I was born that way, Madusa. You were born a woman, which means you're a loser. You'll be a loser tonight. And Michael Hayes, will you come to ringside and watch me massacre this
I would love
woman?
to. I would
tonight,
love to.
Medusa, I'm a man. You're a woman.
And we'll be right back with the clashes of the sexes. Stay tuned.
And ladies and gentlemen, his
Okay.
opponent.
Lots going on here.
Yeah, I like
This
the
is
build-up.
where I think I climbed up and was supposed to, or maybe it was another match where I jumped onto Michael Hayes. I think it was a different one. I broke my foot.
Dangerous, you just hit her. Dangerous, they just hit Madusa.
I think Dangerously just won it. It's over.
He hit her coming in the ring with a daggum phone.
Wait a minute. That's it. Kick her. Kick her. Let me have the opportunity, the privilege to introduce to you the premier winner of the 5-minute execution of an exhibition, the man, Paulie Dangerously.
I'll tell you what, Jim Ross, he whacked her with the phone, knocked her cold. It must be over right now. The clash of the sexes, because I am a man, but Deucey, hey, baby.
Kick her again.
No, I got something else in mind. I want what everybody else in the locker room got, baby. I want a kiss from Madusa.
Took it too far. He hit her with that telephone coming in the ring. Your hair right there.
That's a wig, Ross.
I know it's a wig, Jim.
What's so good is like no one was calling out that wasn't to me.
Laying on the mat.
That's Mike Thor.
That ain't Madusa.
No, Thor.
What's going on here?
Madusa.
This is a little strange here.
Where is she?
Whoa, I gotta go.
Oh.
You better go. There she is. Dangerously doesn't see her. Oh, Paul. Somebody's going to be knocking. She kicked him right in the face. Madusa with those kicks. And Dangerous has got his arm untied. Well, this...
I'll never forget that. Look at that. We just spoke about that.
He's hammering him with those
Ouch.
knees. She is manhandling, and that's not a good person, but she's taking care of business here. I don't know if he wants any more of it or not. And Hayes got kicked. Hayes just got kicked off the apron, and Dangerously's taking a hike.
There goes Paulie.
So this is where
going after him, it looks like.
I went back to get him. I don't know, the strength I had to pick his ass up
And there they go.
and carry him all the way back was
And here we
crazy.
are. They've gone back through that to the locker room area. There are no cameras can. Well, wait a minute, she's bringing him back.
Look at this.
She's carrying.
I was literally, I remember this like yesterday, I was out of breath by the time I got to the
Yeah,
ring.
but remember something.
That's dead weight.
38-inch chest.
It was-
Ross, I caught that, so they're equal in that. Look at this.
I was trying to catch my breath.
Gonna let Paulie get away, and we got 2 more minutes. We're at the 2-minute mark right now.
It's got to be the biggest rucksack I ever carried.
Oh, Hayes tripped Madusa coming in. She fell right on her face. And Dangerously now. Oh, he's
I love
bad
him.
on her right there.
Look at him posing. Look at that.
Damn, Michael Hayes, he tripped me. Always getting involved.
And who does he think he is now? Beautiful Bobby Eaton. Dangerous is climbing up to the top.
Look at that timing for him. See that?
Perfect.
Wow. Man. I'll tell you what. And she's right back up. She's right back up, Paul. Hayes trying to tell dangerously.
Look at Paul. Paul's trying to. Oh.
Shitty clothesline.
Dangerous is in a lot of trouble.
Oh, hello.
Two of them right in the back of the head. We're down to a minute to go. And now Madusa's going up.
There's so much.
Loose up on the second rope. Dangerously is in La La Land.
Do you feel like this, Arn, when you watch your old matches?
He's in a dazed state.
I love it. I love this stuff. I love it. Beautiful.
Caught him right in the chest.
This is what I hated. I don't know why I had to take his pants off, why they told me to, you know? I just, that was part of it, and I just didn't.
This should be in the locker room, not out here.
Just to humiliate him, I guess.
It should be on radio, not television, if he's going to be undressed. Dangerous, he's trying to make his way to the locker room.
And look at this. Madusa's going after Michael P.S. Hayes. Now, wait a minute. Dangerously's one thing. She better not mess with Michael P.S.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't think she got all of him that she wanted. I don't know if this one was. She wanted to really humiliate him. She pulled his pants off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 5-minute period has elapsed.
Madusa looked very proficient at pulling his pants off.
Idiot.
See?
I know.
Why? Oh, you know what? If I'm going to start there. So even back like in Lawler and stuff, it's like, I know they were heels and trying to be the commentators they were, but everything was sexual.
Yeah.
And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And that's why when it came close to the ending of my career, of when my contract was up in 2001, I just didn't like the way it was going, how the women were being treated.
Sure.
A lot of the things when I came in, I was promised and told me that it was going to be worked around a woman's division, and nothing was done. And we had a little bit of this and that, and I was going to win the women's WCW title, which they never gave me. They ended up having me wrestle frickin' men, and it was awful. And so I just said, and then I got a little words for some friends from WWE at the time, or F, and saying that, hey, Vince is going to be buying, and I'm like, I'm out of here. I trademarked Madusa, and I am not rolling over that name and giving it, and never. So I said I gave him my notice, and I was out. And I hated that whole crap. But anyway, at the beginning of that video, I was beating the crap out of somebody. That was Eric Bischoff.
Yes, you were. Yes, that's okay. I saw the black hair, and I wondered if that was him.
That was Eric, yeah. And I will have to say, I believe it was Eric's idea, and he was all for it. And so I thought it was cool as crap, like that he would let me do that, for the promo. So kudos to Eric on that.
That's cool. And I mean, too, you're also having to fight Paul E, who obviously is not a wrestler. So as you're watching what you're doing with him in the ring, I'm sure you're like,
hey, Arn, are you taking a nap, buddy? Are you okay over there?
No, I was just fixing to say. Plus, you had to protect him because he wasn't a wrestler.
That's exactly it. Yep.
Yes.
That's something nobody would even have thought about. They would have gotten the male-female thing, but you had to take care of Paul and protect him because he wasn't a wrestler.
Yeah.
He didn't know how.
Yeah.
No, and so at the beginning, as I was saying, is Eric. So kudos to that. And then when we got further, that whole decision, I believe, was a Herd situation. Wasn't Herd there then?
Herd, I think, was gone at this point. And,
was he gone?
Yeah.
But at the beginning of, I don't know, I can't remember.
Maybe at the beginning of the Halloween Havoc storyline, he could have been there in 91.
Yeah, because no one could get direction on this match. We didn't know what we were doing 5 minutes before. Yeah. Except for the fact is just, pull his pants off.
Yeah, right.
Like we were running around
Dusty was booking around this time.
Around the time, but it was a Herd thing. I'm think, and it was just like, maybe it was the other match. I don't know, but it was just so convoluted. It was just. Ugh.
So Madusa, listen, we're going to do this. We're going to have you back on the show again soon. We got some fan questions that I want to get to at some point, but we've been doing this for a little while, and so we're gonna bring you back on at some point. How's that sound?
Sounds great. Yes.
All right, let's do it.
'Cause I love the way how Arn stand, and do you ever see how he stands and kind of walks? It's like this with his feet out. He never loses balance, by the way.
10 and 2. 10 and 2.
10 and 2, yes.
Yeah.
Like your drivers.
Thank you so much for taking your time out to be with us.
Oh.
We were so excited when
I was excited because I got to spend time with you, and thank you for everything, Paul. All right, what's your fan questions?
Yeah. So we're gonna do save those for another time when we come on, because there's quite a few, and I want to give you an opportunity to talk about where our listeners can find you on social and talk about your book, how they can find The Woman Who Would Be King.
The Woman Who Would Be King is by ECW Press Publishing, and they can get it on Amazon. We're getting 5-star reviews. I'm so like ecstatic and so happy. And Greg Oliver helped me put it together and make it make sense and write it with me. Amazing people. They can, again, The Woman Who Would Be King. The foreword is by Paul Heyman, and the afterword was written by my husband. And it totally, I didn't even see it until it was ready to be printed. And it shocked me and it put me to tears. My husband is so amazing. And you can catch me on social media on Madusa, madusa.com. Everything is on there. Madusa across the board on all my socials. And yeah, a lot of good things happening. Keep your eyes open because I'm always out there.
Check her out. Yeah, Madusa_rocks. I know you do some YouTube. You have some clips that you're putting out on YouTube, so check it out. And man, so thankful to have you on the show. Thank you for being our first guest ever on the Arn Show.
I can't believe that. How long has the show been going on?
It's coming up to 4 years.
4 years, and I'm your first guest.
Yes.
Yep.
Now that says something, and I'm going to take that. That is an honor. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Honor is ours, and you get the clap.
Thank you, Arn. This is it. I feel like the king and queen coronation. Yes.
The official Arn clap. Listen, guys, next week, join us for May 1992. As we mentioned, the main event is Wrestle War at Sting Squadron against the Dangerous Alliance, who I'm honored to have 2 members of that group with me right now. Madusa climbs the cage. We will have that video. Nikita Koloff shows his true colors. Larry cost the team the match. But most importantly, this is the only War Games that our man did not start. That's right, Arn, you didn't start this one. The only one you never started. So
and the best War Games ever to this day.
There you go. So check it out all next week. For the Hall of Famers, Arn Anderson and Madusa, this is Paul Bromwell, and we'll see you right back here next week on Arn.